This is your literary performance challenge for week number 12. Paragraph. I want to thank all of you here tonight for the opportunity that you have given to me to be your speaker at a very important time in your young lives, period. You are now graduating from high school with your entire future in front of you, period. Paragraph. I must say that I have really enjoyed the beautiful music that you have given to us tonight, period. I think music speaks to us in a way quite different from just words, period. Paragraph. I am sorry that my own parents are not here tonight to hear the very nice things you have said about me, period. My dad would have been so proud, period. And my mother, comma, like every mother, comma, would have believed every word you have said, period. Paragraph. I really appreciate my mother, period. I always think of what Mark Twain said when he was asked what the people of the world would be without mothers, period. He replied that there would be very few of them, period. Paragraph. When I hear that I am to give motherly advice, comma, it makes me think of the things my parents used to say to me, period. Some of them were very confusing to me, period. One of the sayings my mother loved to use was, quote, never finish anything you haven't started, period, close quote. Some of the things that were said to me were conflicting things like, quote, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, comma, close quote, but, quote, you're never too old to learn something stupid, period, close quote. Paragraph. All of us have many sayings and proverbs that have been placed inside of us, period. Proverbs are bits of wisdom that every culture has, period. They are the advice that has been acquired from years of just living and watching, period. They are like down-home commandments, period. Paragraph. I remember a little old lady in our church when I was growing up who told our preacher that she never liked it when he preached on the 10 Commandments, period. She said she was afraid it would put ideas into the minds of young people, period. Paragraph. Tonight, you probably want me to keep some sayings in mind like, quote, the mind can comprehend only what the seat can endure, comma, close quote, and, quote, there is no such thing as a bad sermon, comma, as long as it is short, period, close quote. You will be glad to know that I promised that I would be brief, comma, no matter how long it takes, period, paragraph. Graduation time is a natural time to seek and receive advice and look toward the future, period. I thought of the story of the banker, comma, who had no children of his own, comma, but took a great interest in the little boy who lived next door, period. Every morning, comma, as they waited for their buses, comma, the man would say to the little boy, quote, "Son, comma, I want you to think big," period, close quote. For years, comma, every morning, he would remind the little boy to think big, period, paragraph. One day, comma, when the boy was about 10 years old, comma, the banker came out to find a big sign in the boy's front yard, period. The sign read, colon, quote, "Dog for sale, dash, $50,000, period, close quote." The banker laughed, comma, took a deep breath, comma, and told the boy that the sign was great, period. He thanked him for taking his advice, period, paragraph. Several days later, the man came out to find the sign gone, period. The next time he saw the boy, he asked him if he had sold his dog, period. Proudly, the boy replied that indeed he had sold the dog, period. The banker was a little taken aback, and he asked the little boy, if he got his asking price, period, paragraph. Quote, "No, comma, sir, comma, close quote," said the little boy, comma, quote, "but I got a trade-in of two $25,000 cats, period, close quote, paragraph. Tonight I would like to talk about some rules for making it big, period, paragraph. The first rule of thumb is to always think big, period. Set your sights high, period. One of the best ways to remind yourself of the consequences of not having big goals is to remember the old saying that if you aim at nothing, you usually hit it, period, paragraph. Thomas Edison, comma, one of the greatest dreamers and inventors in history, once made the comment that if we did everything we are capable of doing, comma, we would literally astound ourselves, period. I believe that if you can dream it, comma, you can do it, period, paragraph. In a very concrete and physical way, comma, Wilma Rudolph probably demonstrates this point better than anyone, period. As a child, comma, they said she would never walk, comma, not even crawl, period. Not only did she crawl, comma, she walked, comma, and not only did she walk, comma, she ran, comma, and not only did she run, comma, she won one of the most coveted prizes in the world, comma, an Olympic medal, period. She and her brother had a dream, and they made it come true against all odds, period, paragraph. If you can dream it, comma, you can do it, period, paragraph. When you think of a march of 1,000 miles, comma, it is important to remember that it begins with the first step, period. And the first step is hard, period. But it is just as true that if you don't take that first step, comma, nothing happens, period, paragraph. It is also very important that you get to know who you are, period. You must know your strengths and your weaknesses, period. If you do not know your strengths, comma, you cannot play the game well, period. You must really get to know yourself well, period, paragraph. There are two kinds of success, period. One is the very rare kind that comes to the person who has the power to do what no one else can do, period. That is genius, period. But the average person who is successful is probably not a genius, period. He or she is the person who has worked hard to develop the qualities that it took to succeed, period, paragraph. Another piece of advice to you is to do what you really love to do, period. Your life will be happy and will bring many rewards to you in your future, period.